Hi there, Riq Ali here. I'm the proud owner and founder of Newcastle Vehicle Exchange. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk you guys through a little bit of history of the dealership, but most importantly about some of the changes in the industry and things that you need to know as a buyer for a used car. So as a child, I was very passionate about cars. I had boxes of toy cars, the wallpaper was covered in cars, and my father always had subscriptions of Wheels magazines. So I was always reading them and really curious about what new cars were coming out and their prices and all that sort of thing. And at 19, I decided to take a job at a motor vehicle auction that was only just starting. And over the next 10 years, I worked for 2 auctions in total, and I was taught a lot about how to pick cars for quality, cars that have had accidents or that have problems. Also cars that were popular, what cars were doing the job that people wanted them to do. Also gave me a great education as far as which cars were failing, which cars were dealers rejecting and sending into the auctions to get rid of. So it was the best education I feel I could have had to launch me into opening Newcastle Vehicle Exchange in 2004. I felt like it was time to put my education to work, to start dealing with the public directly instead of mostly car dealers, and being in control of who I can help and who I can't, because working for a motor vehicle auction or a large business, as you can probably imagine, the priority is about making money, and there are things that they don't let you do. And as the owner of this dealership, I have enjoyed the freedom of being able to help people when I can, about being able to make my own decisions about what sort of deal that I will do. And it's not always based on money. It's quite often based on a friendship or a rapport, or looking forward to the sort of business that you might do in the future with friends or family of the person that you're dealing with. I find that in a place like Newcastle, that is much more important than always being hungry for the dollar. A lot of people have noticed that my dealership has transitioned into later model vehicles, sometimes expensive vehicles, but mostly from $8,000 upwards, and there's a reason. I found over the years that the cars that were starting to fail more often, naturally, were the cheaper cars. And in dealing with the public and wanting to make sure that people were getting quality cars from here, I decided to move into a later model vehicle. And I can tell you in this day and age now, you do not get for $5,000 what you used to get 10 years ago for $5,000. There's just no comparison. In my opinion, you need to be spending $8,000 or more generally if you want to get yourself something good and reliable. You're really running a risk buying a cheaper car that you may end up spending a few grand on it anyway, and you probably should have bought something newer or something with lower kilometres. Now, I understand that not everybody's got $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 to spend on a used car. But in the time that I have been selling motor vehicles, I can tell you that the finance rates have never been lower. So don't be afraid, if you can afford it, that to look at dearer cars, because if you're looking to borrow around $20,000, hypothetically, it could cost you around $100 a week, or a $30,000 car might cost you $150 a week over 5 years, give or take, and depending on some terms and conditions. But we do specialise in car finance here. We have a couple of brokers that we deal with that have about 30 lenders to choose from. So please don't be put off by the idea of, oh no, I can't afford a $20,000 or $30,000 car. They can be surprisingly affordable, and you don't know until you ask. So there are a few different ways to go about buying a used car, and they do have varying risks. So first of all, buying privately, I'm sure most people have done it. You've gone and used the newspaper or the internet, gone to somebody's house and purchased a vehicle. There are some good buyers out there, but there's also plenty of crooks out there. And I'm going to tell you, you probably have to be more wary of buying from the public than you ever would having to buy from a dealer. Some people think car dealers are shonky and all that sort of stuff, but I can tell you that there's plenty of members of the public that are out there buying cars from auctions and just simply reselling them into the public. Now, these people profit from it and shouldn't be doing it. They're called backyard car dealers. They offer no guarantees or warranties, and you really have to try to take them at face value. The best thing you can do is take that vehicle to a licensed mechanic, do a revs check, and you'd never buy a car without a revs check, and possibly even a car history report, just to give you that little bit of extra backup. But unless you've done these things, I have to say you really are running the gauntlet in buying from the public. There's no recourse. If somebody does do something wrong to you, good luck with getting your money back or returning the vehicle. This is why you see this on A Current Affair quite frequently. But just beware in dealing with the public. But again, there are some very good people out there, there's some very good cars to be bought and some very good prices. It's definitely something to consider, but just make sure you cover the bases that I mentioned before. Another way of buying a motor vehicle is going to a motor auction, like where I used to work, and I'm sure that they may not appreciate what I'm about to say, but they would know this is the truth. There are some very, very good cars to be bought at motor vehicle auctions. There are ex-government vehicles. There are book-ins from dealers who have simply sent the cars in there because they've been on their yard for too long. And there are some cars there from the public that are generally good. But let me tell you that at least 80% of the vehicles that go through an auction have been purchased by the auction from car dealers like myself. Now, these are cars that we have looked at and for various reasons have decided not to sell to the public. It could be that the car's had an accident. It could be that it had a hail repair. It could be that there's a list of mechanical issues with it. So you really do need to beware when buying from an auction. There are, again, some very good buys. I mean, if you know somebody there and you can get some advice, that is the best way to buy a car from an auction. Not to just walk in there, stick your hand up and hope for the best. The cars are generally there for a reason. They are cheaper for a reason. So just keep that in mind and be prepared to have usually a list of things that you may have to fix if you do buy cars from an auction. Because bear in mind, they only have to pass a pink slip to be sold to the public. A pink slip is a check on blinkers, lights, brakes, and those sort of things. But it's not a full mechanical check like what you get when you buy from a dealer. So the third way of buying a vehicle is through a car dealership. So I'm not going to talk generally about car dealers because I'm just going to talk about us. Now, yes, I do buy the occasional car from a motor vehicle auction because I have the expertise to do so. And I can also send the vehicle back if I find that there is a list of issues that the vehicle has, unlike you. So with that in mind, I believe that by buying from this dealership, you will get a quality car. It will have a 5-year warranty if it's not covered by a manufacturer's warranty. It will have a car history report to show that there's no money owing on it and there's no written off history or it's ever been stolen. And that also includes a revs check. And we welcome any mechanical inspection because we get all of our vehicles mechanically inspected before they go on the yard. We don't wait and hope for the best. We actually put every vehicle through a roadworthy certificate and a full mechanical inspection, and then we offer it to the public. So here's something you won't hear every day from a car dealer, probably never. If you are looking for the cheapest car in town, you're not going to find it here. We only focus on quality. We sell at sensible prices. We don't pretend to have sales every weekend like a lot of the big dealers do. We are looking to be competitive, but most importantly, have the best car that we possibly can put in front of you. So we have a mixture of a few Euro cars, we have a few utes, we have the occasional van, we've got family wagons, 7-seaters. We try to cover all the bases, but quality, cool cars are what I'm always out looking to find. So if that is what you're looking for, if quality means more to you than just buying the cheapest car in town, then you need to look at our website. It's www.nve.net.au. We also have a Facebook page. We put some cool content on there from time to time. But please check out our website if you're looking for a car, ute or commercial, because we only hold about 20 or 30 at a time. And we just try to make sure that they are all the best cars that we can find. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.